Something that's been absolutely breaking my brain, and I don't think enough people are talking about how genuinely nuts this is the commercialization around Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I also want to preface this with even though this person was somebody who held beliefs that I fundamentally disagree with, Charlie Kirk's unaliving was horrible. No one deserves that. No family deserves that. And my heart goes out to everyone whose lives were altered by the trauma of that moment and the days that followed. What I want to talk about today is Charlie Kirk died on September 10th. By September 11th, literally the next morning, there were t-shirts for sale. Can we sit with that for a second? A man was assassinated at a college campus during a public event. And before most people even processed what happened, there was a fully operational online store selling commemorative merchandise. Less than 24 hours later, Turning Point USA, the organization that he founded, launched at least 6 different t-shirt designs within a first few days, all priced at $35. One had a drawing of Kirk on it with his fist raised and a Bible verse. Another showed his family walking hand in hand with a literal halo photoshopped over his head. And then there was one that said, "Well done, good and faithful servant," with his birth date and death years like a tombstone. Another said, "This is our turning point," which I'm sorry, but turning his death into a slogan. Some moments do not need merch. This and the fondling of JD Vance's head are two of those moments, if you ask me. And this wasn't some sloppy, rushed job. These were professionally designed products. Product descriptions were written, everything ready to go, which means people saw this and moved quickly to capitalize on it. Then they held his memorial service, at State Farm Stadium, which is the place where the Arizona Cardinals play football.
Of crowds gathering for an emotional scene in Arizona all day Sunday to honor and pay their final respects to Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk.
The memorial drawing one of the largest public turnouts ever for a private citizen. Some people actually had to be turned away after the stadium quickly reached capacity several hours before the memorial was even scheduled to begin.
So religious leaders and friends of Charlie coming together to speak at the event, as well as Charlie's wife, Erika, who remembered her husband's legacy and revealed her thoughts about his alleged assassin. Wow.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. That young man on the
call. It holds 73,000 people for mega events. They had Donald Trump, JD Vance, all there. Over 277,000 devices were connected through geotagging. And it was a rally. And at this rally memorial, which again happened less than 2 weeks after he died, people were already wearing the merch. The shirts had been designed, product shipped, delivered in under 11 days. The logistics alone are horrifying. And then the memorial, the Turning Point USA announced, because of overwhelming support, merchandise orders could take up to 12 weeks to ship. 12 weeks, that's how high the demand was. They were overwhelmed with orders that they had a 3-month backlog. For context, that's the kind of shipping delay you see when Taylor Swift albums drop, not when somebody gets murdered. They ran ads and knew exactly who these people they were advertising to were. People who followed conservative pages, people who had previously bought political merchandise, people who were likely to be emotionally vulnerable about Kirk's death. This death became a product launch really quick. And Assassination, a merch drop. Grief doesn't necessarily need to become a moment to market or a marketing opportunity. And I'm a former CMO, and we've normalized it to the point where people don't even blink. Turning Point USA's official merchandise probably came maybe, I don't know, from a genuine place of wanting more money for themselves and to enrich their life so they can indoctrinate kids. But people process things differently. I get that. But when your memorial has a 12-week shipping backlog, why does it feel more like a capsule drop than a funeral? And then CBS News staffers are reportedly unimpressed because in some cases, they're outright mortified by the decision of Bari Weiss, newly installed editor-in-chief, to moderate a primetime town hall featuring Erika Kirk, his widow. Weiss has been in the job for what employees describe as 5 seconds, which they say is just long enough for her to book herself a televised special. Several staffers describe the move as self-promotional and deeply unnecessary and helping exactly what already the widespread concerns about her lack of broadcast journalism experience is. The event is going to be airing December 13th, and it will center Kirk's personal story, the political division, and her public forgiveness, Erika Kirk's public forgiveness of her husband's killer. CBS has announced that the program will be filmed before a studio audience that they will choose, and there will be a questionnaire that they ask attendees whether they're conservative, evangelical, or grieving somebody. So very normal RSVP form, feels a little bit like a trauma bondy. And the network has emphasized seriousness and emotional weight of the conversation, while also releasing promotional materials that, to me, looked like a Coachella lineup. And it looked like they were revealing weekend 2 of a music festival. Like, I'm going to put it up on the screen so you could see. Truly, nothing says national political discourse like these graphics. Or grieving widow, like, it's giving kind of like the poor man's Sahara tent. For added context, the special will bump the already scheduled Family, Film, and TV Awards to the following week, meaning an hour of earnest televised grief and political polarization is replacing an evening of predictable award stuff show. Some staffers found out about all this hoopla not through internal communications, but from The Guardian, which they described as exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. Again, since arriving, Weiss, best known for her founding of the Free Press and for her general anti-woke branding, has been trying to reshape CBS News. This has already included attempting to poach on-air talent, engineering high-profile interviews, including with Hillary Clinton and everyone's favorite Benjamin Netanyahu, and allegedly drafting Musk-style memos to her staff. She also has intervened on internal personal matters, sometimes controversially, although none of these things actually involved her being on camera until now. Internally, reactions range from disbelief to concern that Paramount boss David Ellison, who hired Weiss after the Skydance merger, might already be regretting that decision. One staffer said the situation is toe curling. And another suggested that Weiss seems more interested in becoming a TV personality than running a newsroom. The overall mood in the network has been subject to an unforced experiment in reinventing itself, one that journalists did not sign up for and weren't informed about. Publicly, Weiss has said her goal is to appeal to the broader center-left and center-right and to restore a sense of normalcy to American politics. Off to a great start. She points to debates that she has moderated as evidence of her ability to bridge divides though internally her critics seem unconvinced. Still, she remains optimistic, saying that she is energized by the mission and believes that most Americans fall into the reasonable middle. Staffers, meanwhile, appear to be wondering why returning to normalcy requires their editor-in-chief to host a primetime town hall complete with promotional imagery that suggests like there's going to be wristbands and shuttle passes involved. Honestly, it's just really weird. Like, when my time inevitably comes, hopefully long time from now, I really don't want any merch. I don't want any t-shirts, hats, limited edition, commemorative, anything. I'm not trying to monetize my own transition. And yet, here we are staring at something that looks like a serious political discussion, but it's branded more like a Coachella poster. This sort of thing makes you double check. Am I reading about a primetime town hall or